Welcome to the Profit Share Podcast with your hosts, Linda and Pres McKissack.
Hey everyone, welcome to Profit Share Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Pres McKissack.
And I'm Linda McKissack.
Linda, good to be with you again.
I know. It's always so exciting to talk about Profit Share every month. I love it.
Well, this month we have a little bit of a special episode for you. We've got some exciting news to share that we've recently taken over the Keller Williams, Oklahoma region from the one and only Mo Anderson in our company.
Yeah. No fear there of
No
big
pressure.
shoes. No pressure of big shoes to fill.
That's right. What do they say? No pressure, no diamonds, right?
That's right. So we're hoping to make diamonds.
That's right. Well, as we, it was really kind of a cool, maybe we'll give them a little bit of the backstory, Linda. So we in August of last year, out of the blue, got a phone call from Mo Anderson. And you want to talk a little bit about that phone call?
Yeah, it was Mo was looking for someone to take over her Oklahoma region, her amazing, precious people. And she said, I would like the McKissacks to do it. And so we, of course, said, well, we'd love to entertain doing that. And then Mo and her brilliance said, well, I want you to come to Oklahoma first and actually be here at exactly 8:30 in the morning, not 8:40, but 8:30. That's Mo. And I'm going to take you to all the offices and I want you to meet everybody and everybody to meet you. And in my mind, I'm thinking, wait, I think Mo's smarter than that. Why would she, before we've even negotiate numbers, why would she parade us around, right? Well, after we went around everybody, it was very clear she was very smart and astute woman, which we always know as a business person, because she knew what would happen. We would fall in love with her people and they would become our people. And so that's exactly what happened. Smart lady. And then so the rest was just getting the details ironed out. And we actually, as of January the 1 this year, took over leading the amazing people of Oklahoma. And we could not be prouder. And we actually want to talk about that today, right, Pres?
Yeah, today's episode is going to be around the 10 lessons that we've learned from stepping into running the Oklahoma region. And, as we were thinking about this, it doesn't really matter what new venture you're going into in life. If you're stepping into bigger shoes, another opportunity, a new path, you're opening a new door, there's always lessons to learn. And the things you did in your past always help shape the way that you approach your future. So Linda and I just wanted to take a second and maybe do some self-reflection now that we're about 2 months in, a little bit under that, actually a month and a half. Feels like 2 months. We've been tearing up the roads of Oklahoma.
And I do have to say, they at least have good restaurants, unlike other parts of the country that we sometimes have visited. But so I'm excited about that. I kind of feel like it's just a kind of a stone's throw away from Texas, where we're from.
Yeah, that's right. So again, what you're going to get from us today are the 10 lessons that we've learned. So I don't know what Linda's 5 lessons are, and Linda doesn't know what my 5 lessons are. So we may have some repeats, or they may be totally different, but we'll all get to find out together. So Linda, why don't you kind of kick us off with lesson number 1?
Okay, so lesson number 1 is, and I'm always convicted of this when I go and try to help agents build bigger lives, bigger businesses, and to really understand and stay in our culture. And so one of the first lessons I learned was KW has so much to offer. I mean, Pres, it really does. And I get a conviction for it every time I realize so many people don't utilize most of what we have, which is one of my other lessons. But it just convicts me again of how much KW has put effort and energy into training and tools and just full 100% focused effort on ways to make the entrepreneur thrive and the agents' lives better.
Yeah, so true. And as we got to spend time with the people, you got to see some who've taken a lot of advantage of what KW has to offer, and some who haven't taken much of anything. And so, but to get to watch a new hope for the future of what they could take advantage of that they maybe didn't know was there before was pretty exciting.
Yeah. And, Pres, I think it all starts with leadership. And sometimes, I've been here 30 something years. It would be real easy to get tired of all the work and effort that KW does. And for some reason, I don't do that. I get more and more excited every time they do something bigger and bolder each time. And so I think you know, we as leaders, we have to be the one that brings it to the agents. And that was one of my big ahas too, is part of the responsibility of leadership is to get people to experience the true KW, the culture, the tools, all the effort that so many people at KWI are putting in every single day. Our MAPS program, our KWU program, and those people work tirelessly to bring great value to the agents.
Yeah, so true. Okay, so you got Linda's number one. I'm going to give you my number one lesson, and it was that we stand on the shoulders of giants. And so I'm going to just kind of share with you a few things that I wrote down here. I said, you can't fill an icon's shoes. You have to expand the path they paved.
Oh man.
And I also wrote down, you carry forward their standards, but lace up your own shoes and run your race.
Oh, wow.
And I just think about, just take a second and just imagine Mo Anderson approaching you and being like, "Hey, I want you to follow after me in anything," right? Like the weight of that, right? And realizing the pressure, but at the same time, it's funny. I think back to Anna, who's again, if you know, that's my wife, and she's our business partner and in the Oklahoma region, and also runs our region up in Ohio Valley. And when we moved up to Ohio, now 7 years ago, when we first stepped into the Ohio Valley region, there were big shoes to fill, following Linda's legacy, following others who had come before me. But just realizing you got to show up and add value and run your race. And so it was beautiful just to we could have walked into those rooms and how do I say this? You could have walked into those rooms and lived in the shadow of Mo instead of stepping up and casting a new shadow or painting a new future. And I think we did that well. We stepped in and we leaned in, and you honor her best by expanding the road she's already paved.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And just, continue to add what she's already brought, which is amazing culture and leadership.
Yeah.
My number two was we have amazing people. If we just focus on helping the people, everything else takes care of itself. And I think that's what we walked in and did. We just walked in and poured our hearts out and gave everything we possibly could on those trips. And we'll continue to do this to help our agents' lives be better and bigger, just like our lives have been better and bigger because of the tools and the people and the experiences in Keller Williams.
Yeah, that's so good. My I'm gonna go ahead and share my second because it follows right in line with yours, which was before you lead the organization, sit with the individuals. And one of the things we strategically did is we went to the people first. We didn't ask them to come to us. We didn't say, meet us everyone at the central location. We went to every single office in Oklahoma within the first month of us stepping into the region. And the big part of that is because, if you've listened to our podcast, you've heard this over and over again, relationships are built with time and respect is earned. And so if you're going to lead anything and you're going to step into a new opportunity, you better show up. Show up to the people first and let them know you're here to serve them.
Yeah, and I love that, Press, and I'd love to add to it. The other thing I think that leadership has to do is before they make decisions, they have to understand the struggles of those people that are in the battle every single day.
That's right.
And to go to the leadership team and sit down with them and truly listen to where their struggles are and to try to see things on their P&Ls and on their balance sheets and in their world that they might not see. And this is where I see having Ohio Valley for, so many years already gave us an advantage because we could see things and have had experienced so many things that they were just now starting to experience.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. All right, what was your number three?
Number three was most agents don't take advantage of what KW has, including profit share. And so I saw a great opportunity for us to, and I've already had some calls. And I know in our Leadership Academy, one of the things we show is the opportunity map. But I just saw such an opportunity. I think as leaders, we always walk around and say, well, we don't have a bench. There's nobody. And I just remember Gary saying years ago, every 5 to 7 years, somebody raises their hand and says, where's mine? And so instead of waiting around for that, we proactively are trying to find those people and meet with them. And I love the fact that there actually are people like that. We just need to turn over more rocks till we find them.
Yeah, so true. And by the way, they're there. They're there. There was, and I'm going to get to one of my later lessons, and we'll talk maybe in more detail. But there's plenty of talent in
Oh
Oklahoma.
my gosh, yes.
There's plenty of talent.
Just like we have found amazing talent in the Ohio Valley,
That's right.
there's talent
They're
there too.
there. All right. My number three was leadership isn't about getting people to buy into your goals. It's about helping them achieve theirs. And I will tell you, with the way Anna and I specifically work, I am very much the ideas guy. Let's talk about the strategies and the ideas. That's where I find excitement and comfort. So in my mind, the first thing I want to do, I want to walk into a meeting with the leadership, right? And I want them to explain to me what we're doing and the results we're getting from that, and then let's talk about tweaking those to get better results out of it, right? If it's we're doing stuff and it's not driving results, then let's eliminate it. Like that's where my head goes. And to Anna's credit, and the great leader that she is, she walked in and she said, "I want you, Pres, and all of us. I want you to trust me to do a process that I've done with our other leaders before, and I've gotten great results from." And it took me biting my tongue quite a bit, if I'm being honest, because I immediately want to go into strategies as soon as I hear areas where we can get better. But she sat with every leader of every market center and she said, give me your GPS, right? If you're in KW, you know, your 135, what's your one goal for the year for the office. And then what are the and we shouldn't even go into the strategy. She just wanted to know what was the one goal. And then she went leader by leader and said, what number are you tied to and why? What do you personally get when you hit those goals? And I'll be honest, again, I had to bite my tongue because it's kind of like the KPA process. You got to sit there quietly and let them get it out and let them tie to their goals. But I will tell you the amount of feedback that we got from people that just said, thank you for the fact that you showed up and you asked me about what was important to me before anything else.
Well, I agree, Press. You're such a simplifier, and I love that because I am totally a multiplier, and I love simplifiers, and I've learned to appreciate simplifiers even more and more. And I think, and I've known this from my own region, you have to win the hearts of the people first. And so kudos to Anna, because that's exactly what she did, accomplished. And I think that is important because if I think about my own journey in building the Ohio Valley region, I very seldom have an issue that I cannot somehow work out if people on the other side already know my heart.
Yeah, that's good.
And I've been on the battlefield with them, and they know I wake up every day
Yep.
and love them and want to help them win. And the ones I do have the most trouble with, I have to be convicted of the fact that I've not done that with them yet.
That's so good. So good. All right. What was your number four?
Number four is people who use KW's tools, lives get better.
It's good. That's true. Yeah. And you can see that when we did our leadership academy, you can see the ones who've bought into the models and how big their lives have gotten because they've been a student of business, student of KW and the lessons. Yeah, that's good. All right, my number four, let me open up my notes here. My number four was collaboration beats competition every day. And okay, so now I'm going to kind of tie in. I kind of alluded to this earlier, and Linda did too. Um, Something unique that we do in Ohio Valley that we've now brought to Oklahoma is something we call Leadership Academy. And how it typically looks is we'll take anywhere from 20 to 30 agents at a time. Offices will put forward some names, and we'll look at the top-down report, and we'll kind of collectively get an initial list of those people, and we'll send out invitations. We meet with them 3 times in 3 separate months. So you'll have month 1, month 2, month 3. And each time we meet, it's typically 9 to 3, 9 to 4 p.m., somewhere in there. And I will tell you, we had an incredible group of top performers in the Oklahoma region from all over the state, brought them into a room together and let them collaborate for an entire day. And the feedback we got from that room was incredible. Not to mention referral opportunities, and there'll be so many good things that come out of that. But and to be honest with you, the strategies and the lessons they learned were impactful from what they shared with us. but more than that, the relationships that they built with each
Oh,
other.
yes. That was magical to watch, Press. That was a big aha for me is most of what they all wanted, even before we started opening our mouth, was we want to know each other and we want to have relationships. And I think because um, just just because of certain way things were done, that didn't happen very much. And we're kind of used to that happening in Ohio Valley. So that was something we knew that we would bring, but we didn't know it would be well received as it was.
Yeah. And I'll tell you one beautiful conversation that happened in the room. I remember there was this amazing individual in the back of the room, and they started talking about how, they know they need to hire an assistant. Because we've got what's beautiful about this room is we had everyone from $100 million producer in that room um, to probably 10 to 15 million range and everything in between. And so they're all incredibly talented. They're just at different stages of their business, right?
Right.
And maybe different approaches to their business. Not one right or wrong, right? Just different. But they have, depending on people in that room, there's any problem that someone in that room has had, someone in that room, whether it be us or whether it be them, have already gone through it. And so the beautiful thing is, as they were talking about, they're at the point now where they're killing themselves and they need to hire leverage, and they're nervous about that first hire and if that's going to pay a return. And I remember pulling the room. I said, "Has anyone in here hired an assistant and made more money?" And there was, I don't know, 70% of the room raised their hand and said, "I've made a hire, an administrative hire, and it made my business better, not worse."
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful illustration of how I couldn't have done that if it was a one-on-one conversation.
No.
But that, and you could just see immediately as that was shared in her mind, you could just see her wheels spinning of that self-doubt that she was telling herself. It was really hard to keep telling herself that when everyone in the room was validating.
Yeah, it was so much more powerful coming from her peers. It was so much social proof to her that yes, you're going to have the fear. You just got to take the leap.
That's right.
Yep.
All right, Linda.
So
number 5.
Yeah, my last one is this.
Did you write another? Did you come up with a 6?
No, this is just 5, part of 5.
Funny. I thought Linda was cheating on me and added a 6.
No, I want to tell a story around 5. So I said most KW agents don't know there's opportunity for people who are willing to do the work. And so I'm going to go back to a conversation I had with someone who said, I am looking, I'm at a different stage of my life and I am looking for opportunity. And so when I did the call, I found out that the person was actually in the PC role. And my brain immediately went to work because a lot of times people, they want to have the opportunity and then go get ready. But I said, sometimes there's things you can be doing in what you're already doing, the role you're already in, that can show people you have the ability to take the next opportunity. And so we kind of sit and brainstorm on the PC program because she's still actively selling. And I just asked her, I said, when you were a young agent, didn't you not wish like heck somebody would let you go on a listing appointment or a buyer appointment? And she said, oh, yes. And she said, matter of fact, in my PC program, I do let them do that. And I said, well, think about that as a potential recruiting.
Yep.
Because so much of our leadership is about the ability to attract great agents to our company, help our agents grow, but also attract great agents to the company. And so we just kind of sit and brainstorm some ideas and just you could see the light bulbs going off. And it was a kind of a chance too. And I always say, I appreciate people who give me an opportunity to try something, dip my toe in something and see, is it ability that I have? And so, we just kind of uncovered the fact that she's so close to some next opportunities. And I said, it won't be a lack of opportunities. I can promise you that. Everything's always changing. But if you're that much farther ahead by taking the role you're currently in and increasing your stream of income by 2 or 3, why wouldn't you do that now instead of waiting till you're in the role and that time frame is so short once you're getting paid by somebody that you could be practicing and trying and building great relationships. And we talked about her sending a card to every co-op agent that her PC people did.
That's great.
Just starting to build those relationships before she's ever in a role.
Sow the seeds now that you'll reap later.
Sow the seeds now so that when you're in leadership, people are more receptive to taking your call.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's really good. Okay, well, my last one, my number 5 was say yes and go with courage. And I always think back to the story that Linda tells where, Linda and Jim are the people in KW. I tell the story in our Leadership Academy. They're the people in KW who get the phone calls from the agents who've been in the business for 40 plus years. they're ready to retire, and all of people we know, they all want to move to Florida. That's where you go to retire, I guess. And but they can't because they can't afford to stop selling real estate because they haven't done anything different, built wealth, right, whatever it may be. And and then Linda's also the person in KW who gets the calls from people who are wishing that they had maybe taken advantage of more things at KW but hadn't, and are now like, wondering what their options are. And one of the things Linda will ask them is, well, were you ever asked to be the team leader? Were you ever asked to open a market center? And almost always these talented people are like, oh yeah, I was asked to do that, or yeah, I was asked to do that. And Linda will say, well, what did you say? And Linda, their response is usually what?
I said no.
I said no. And she'll say, the difference is I said yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just, again, Mo calls, big shoes to fill. Could be a really easy answer to say, no way, it's too much pressure. What if we fail? All the things. But at the end of the day, my word of the year is courage. In fact, I think I've decided it might be the word of my life is courage, because we teach this beautiful model called the 4 C's, and we taught it a lot over the last 2 weeks in Oklahoma. So it's just always circling in my brain. But it's sort of the word that every person who has a big life always holds on to, because you can either hold on to fear, you can hold on to courage. And so that's my last one, is say yes, go with courage, because good things always come on the other side of courage.
Yeah, and I think about a verse, Pres. God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called.
Yeah, it's good.
And so you just have to have that courage and step into that. So I love this. We did get different things, but you're a simplifier and I'm a multiplier. So I was expecting us to get different things,
Yeah,
but
that
they're
was
all
good.
great. They're all great.
That's awesome. Okay, well, as a reminder, you guys know, if you listen to our podcast, you know what we do. We have agent sites, right, that allow agents to be able to build their downline across the country. And we also have now, which we're excited to share, is market center sites. And that allows market centers to be able to grow their offices and really scale their new agent recruiting, while also giving them an entirely new income stream that they did not have before. And I have to tell you, some of the results that our people are getting has been incredible.
Yeah, I'm super excited, Press. And because we are working with new agents, we've kind of had to wait for months of our first people offices going into this to see the results. But as we start to see the results, I'm so excited about this filling a gap that every market center has.
Yep.
That's been so difficult for them to feel and to figure that out, and to really use this great gift that we've been given, which is K-score, and
Yep.
do it without chaos in your office.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, if you go to profitsharesites.com, you can learn more about all the awesome tools that we have to help you guys go out there and grow your downlines and grow your offices. And with that being said, Linda, I think we're signing off.
I'm excited. We'll see you guys next month to talk more about the amazing gift we've all been given, which is called Profit Share.
All right. See you then. Bye.